Well, our trip to Puerto Rico started out on Super Bowl Sunday at 6:55 a.m. The flight was overbooked, so they put us on a non-stop and gave us $500. We used some of the money to go first class and had money left over. And we got there early in time to go to the Dorado Festival. And we didn't have to rent a car. Al and Diana had a rental car. And these beginning pictures show us parking on the back streets to go to the festival. We had to walk a short distance over to the festival, which was in downtown Dorado. Here's a poster from the festival. And the festival was very, very loud. There was music on giant speakers, which may be in one of these photos. And there was just thousands of people. The streets were very, very crowded. And again, the music was very, very loud. A lot of confetti, a lot of bands from all over the island. These were mostly school kids. And these floats, they would try to rock them back and forth as they went by. And here you see some of the speakers in the background there. One of the photos coming up, you'll see some young boys on bicycles, and they could do all sorts of tricks, sort of like the BMX guys could do. This one young man was spinning his bicycle around, which you'll see in the next photo. And some of the bands were playing on steel drums. And in one of the coming up photos, you'll see a young girl, probably only 4 or 5 years old, who was very, very serious about the marching. Her mom was alongside of her. The photos coming up show this young girl in her outfit, and she's with her mom, and she's just oh so serious about this parade. And after a while, the noise got to us, and we headed back to the Fiorini's, and the next few shots you'll see their driveway and then the back side of their building. We were on the first floor and the Fiorini's were on the second floor, so you could see the deck that we sat on every morning for breakfast. And then they had a stairway down to the ocean, which was a couple of flights down, and we were just a few doors from the surfer beach, so one of the shots coming up will show some of the surfers out there looking for the next big wave. Each morning we sat on the deck and had our coffee, and here's a couple shots of Nancy and I out early morning, and we would see cruise ships going by early in the week. There'd usually be 3 or 4 or 5 cruise ships docked in Old San Juan. And the next couple shots, there's a cruise ship in the distance. And later on, you'll see close-ups of the cruise ships, because the ferry boat to Old San Juan docks right next to the cruise ships. So our very first day, we made a trip to Bacardi, which was just about 30 minutes drive from Dorado, shown on this map. And here's Al and Diane and Nancy. We're waiting for the tour to start, which went on a little trolley to various buildings and showed the process of making the Bacardi rum. They had a gift shop, and Nancy got a very nice hat from that said Puerto Rico and Bacardi on it. And after Bacardi's, we went on to catch the ferry boat, which was only 25 cents for seniors, and if you're over 75, it was free. And here we all are on the ferry boat, and again, as we are approaching Old San Juan, you can see the cruise ships in the distance, and we were lucky enough to arrive there just as one of these big cruise ships was backing out of its berth and making a turnaround, and its powerful engines stirred up a lot of mud on the bottom, which you probably cannot see in these pictures, but we did get real good views of the cruise ship backing up and then turning around. Our ferry boat had to wait until the cruise ship cleared the area before it could pull into the berth. As soon as we docked, the very first stop was the tourist office, which is right next to the pier, and we got free rum drinks, which you'll see us with later on the street. And upcoming is a map of Old San Juan, and if you look real close, you'll see one of the highlights, which is the Coach store, outlet store. So we walked the old streets, and we bought some bird seed, and in the square we were feeding the pigeons, so you'll see hysteria with pigeons as they would eat right out of your hand. And from there we went to an old cathedral where Ponce de Leon's tomb is in this old Catholic cathedral. So I have a few pictures coming up from the inside of the cathedral. Was a very, very picturesque street right across from the cathedral, and there was this statue of a cat that we have a picture of Nancy, and then there was these beautiful old trees coming up. You'll see a few shots of Nancy by these old trees, and then we walked on over to find the Coach store where we could get lots of good deals on all sorts of things. I even got a nice pair of gloves. And then we walked on down to the waterfront where you get a view of some of the walls of the old city. And there's a pathway that heads to the old fort. On this day, we did not have time to go to the old fort this day, but we did come back on another day to make a trip through the old fort. But we did stop at a well-known statue, and Al and Diane knew the sculptor that made this statue. And then I'll be coming up a few photos in front of the statue. And on our way back to the ferry boat, we met a policeman that we had met earlier on a mountain bike, and he even offered to let me take a ride on his bicycle, but I thought it wasn't a very good time for me to try out a bike, but I did get a photo.